Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So, have you been liking the changing of the seasons? For me, this time of year can be a little bit challenging waking up because I walk the dogs early in the morning and it's cold. Some days are pretty cold in the morning. So, it's a bit of an emotional and mental adjustment that I need to go through. But when the sun is shining and it's still crisp out, I'm okay with that. When the blue skies are there, I'm okay with that. So, yeah, needing to adapt to this, it can be a little bit challenging sometimes. So, I hope you're doing okay with that and really soaking up the sunshine on the days that we have that sunshine. So, this is going to be a great show. We're going to be talking about the York Durham Heritage Railway and getting an update on that. So, it was hit pretty hard during the tornado back in May. So, we're going to get an update. We'll also talking to Scott Bremner, who has a book signing coming up and his whole exploration in writing that book. And we are also going to be talking to Jennifer Hillier, and she has been going through, well, she has multiple myeloma. So we'll be finding out more about what that type of cancer is. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So now with me on the show is Scott Bremner, who has written his own book, and he has a book signing coming up. So Scott, the name of your book is Durability: Braving the Non-Disabled World.
Yes.
So tell me, Scott, what inspired this book?
Well, as a person with a disability, I have cerebral palsy. I've had obviously since birth, and the book is three tiers. First, it's a memoir. The second part of it, an advice guide for people with disabilities and the family and their friends, them about how to assist to really understand what they're going through. And then the third part talks about the political history, the successes and setbacks we've had in terms of legislation in North America. So it's really three books in one.
Okay, beautiful. If you were to summarize where society is at right now with working with individuals who have I feel uncomfortable even saying disabilities, right? Because isn't there's newer terms.
Yes. It's not, I'm learning some of them myself, as a lot of these are not things that we've voted on as a community. But I would say that in terms of where we are regarding physical accessibility, we have a long way to go, and it's shocking and it's surprising. And I'm not the only one who's saying this. I've interviewed several experts and other people with disabilities in the field, specifically architecture, that they talk about in this book their opinions about where we need to go and how far we have to go to actually get to a place where accessibility would be something where we might even consider it passable.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Now, when you talk within your own memoir section of the book,
yes,
can you summarize what you've been going through, what your experience is?
Well, I would say that, and I've said this before, my brother and I are product of really good. We're the product of really good parenting. My parents never treated my brother and I any differently. The same expectations that they had for me, they had for him, and vice versa. So I would say that yes, there are specific things that they had to uh, do, and the family had to do it as a unit to adjust to having a child with a disability. But by and large, I would say that I think the one thing that you should come away with is that your child is your child, your son and your daughter, regardless of whether or not they have a disability or not, should be treated the same and should be given the same opportunities, and it should be like an equal playing field for both of them. And so I'm very, very proud to be the son of my parents,
Beautiful.
because I don't think, well, I know of some people that were not as fortunate as I to have the types of parents that would do anything that they had to for their child.
Okay. Now, Scott, tell me about your experience of writing the book, putting the book together. Was it a scary experience? Was it an adventure, a combination? Did you go through some, I guess, cool personal healing processes as you were writing the book?
Definitely, there were some things that I didn't know in terms of like policy wise, that I'm like, oh, that's why it turned out like that. Okay, I get it. When you're 10 years old, when you're 12 years old, you don't really understand the ins and outs of provincial government, of why things are the way they are. So I mean, it definitely helped. It definitely helped learning those situations, and it also helped knowing, talking to people that were actually there, trying to get something done, and knowing that they did, but it didn't go as far as they had hoped.
Okay,
So it was an interesting thing. I would say it's very cathartic.
good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure we could talk about your book all day too, but I want to make sure everyone is aware that the book signing is November the 5th, and it is 50. And what's the timing of that, Scott?
It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay, beautiful. Scott,
And yeah, so come on by and I'll sign some books. I'll have some books available for purchase. Come by and say hi. It should be fun. It's my first time doing a book signing, so it'll be interesting.
okay, well, congratulations on that. I'm excited for you, Scott. Thank you so much for being on the show. We'll be right
Thank you
back
very much.
on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. Now I have Jennifer Hillier on the show. And Jennifer is she's here to give us some awareness about a cancer that I have never heard about before. It's a type of blood cancer. And I'm going to see if I get this right, Jennifer. You can definitely correct me. So multiple myeloma. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. Yes.
So Jennifer, I understand that you were diagnosed with multiple myeloma in, was it December 2018?
Yes, it is. That's right.
Okay. So can you tell me how did that come about? How did that diagnosis come about?
Well, I had gotten some blood tests and I was told that I was anemic, which I'd never been in my life. And you know your body. So when something kind of comes up different, I started to go for more testing. And as the months progressed, my hemoglobin, which is what they monitored, kept decreasing. And we couldn't figure out why it kept decreasing. And I was eventually referred to a hematologist. And then that's when they realized how low my blood level was. At that point, I was at 64, which is very dangerous. Ended up needing to get 2 blood transfusions. And in that process, they also realized they diagnosed me with the multiple myeloma. I was referred to an oncologist in December. And the week before Christmas, I started getting my chemo treatments.
So is this cancer treatable? Is it curable?
It's not curable, not at the moment. That is the hope right now. That is the reason why we want to do fundraising for the foundation, because we're getting there. There's a lot of treatments, and every year with the research they're doing now, they're finding better and better treatments, improving our lifestyle as well, because the treatments are very difficult on our bodies. And the thing is, this kind of cancer is considered recurrent, so you're never cured. You're never officially in remission. You just go in through phases of maintenance. So you go through the treatment, you're stable for a little bit, and then eventually, just depends on your body how long it takes between treatments, but you do oftentimes eventually have to go back into treatment. So the fundraising, we want to get better treatments, more effective treatments, longer gaps between treatments, and also, of course, get the cure, because that's the number one goal right now.
How has this changed your life? Um, Not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, and your perspective on life.
It definitely changed everything. Being that I was only 34 when I was diagnosed, it's a huge shift in life to know that you have something incurable that could kill you and may eventually kill me. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But also knowing that I'm immunocompromised now. That doesn't matter what we do with treatments. I'm always at risk of other things. And so I have to be extra careful everywhere I go. You can't risk catching anything. If you have a fever, you have to go to the hospital. So, it is very isolating for some of us um, because of that. And also, your plans for your future, it's different once you get something like this. It's kind of hard to plan for 50 years ahead, not knowing whether or not you're going to get those years. So it definitely changes your entire life and your whole perspective on life.
Now, I understand this is normally something that 60-year-old men get, and you're in your
Mhm.
30s.
Yeah.
Do they know why? Why did you get it? Did it have something to do with your within your DNA? Since
Mhm. Yeah, there's no official known cause for multiple myeloma. They have no idea why people get it. There are higher risk groups. I believe firemen is one of them because they're often exposed to toxic chemicals. And I think they're discovering now there may be some sort of genetic link in the family, but otherwise, they really don't know what caused it. I was told definitely I didn't do this to myself. It wasn't a lifestyle thing. It just my genetics changed and that's it. I developed it. So
nowadays, when you make choices about what you want to do on any given day, do you think this is a new perspective compared to before you were diagnosed? Is it the choices that you're going to make?
definitely, yes. Because we still have some COVID hanging around, that also makes a huge difference because I am highly susceptible to it. So I do have to also be weary of when I go to crowds to keep my distance, to stay masked. If somebody around me is feeling under the weather, I cannot see them. Day-to-day life is affected.
So you're spreading awareness and you're also fundraising for better treatments.
Yes.
I understand that you just had a fundraiser and is it the March for Myeloma?
The Multiple Myeloma March, yes, we've been doing it every year. It's all across Canada. The one that I participated in was the one in Oshawa on Saturday, the 1st of October. We walk 5 kilometers in Story Park, and we've been raising money online, and we also raise money on site. and all that money does go to the Myeloma Foundation, and it is to improve treatment, to research for the cure, and to help patients as well, because it's needed. There's a lot that happens with patients, and we need all the help we can get.
Okay, so I understand that throughout the year, people can make donations. So myelomamarch.ca.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, beautiful. Jennifer, thank you so much for educating everybody and for being on the show. It was a pleasure to meet you. And we'll hope maybe we'll have you on again another time so you can give us some updates.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. With me on the show is John Perks, who is the president and CEO of York Durham Heritage Railway. Good, I got all that.
You got it all.
I got it all in there. John, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Again.
Yes, it's always wonderful to be with you.
Yeah, so, okay, we're talking about the York Durham Heritage Railway. And with the tornado that we had back in the beginning of
May long weekend.
Yeah, the May long weekend. Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like a long ago, but really it wasn't. But a lot has happened since then. The railway had a lot of damage to it, right?
Oh my goodness, when you look at the last 2.5 years, lockdowns and shutdowns, the tourism industry taking a severe hit, losing all of our sources of income. Then when we reopened, we had to shut down again. Then when we were finally ready to reopen after suffering through COVID, barely making it, not sure if we were going to go bankrupt or what was going to happen.
Right.
We finally have an opening weekend and a tornado comes, and the epicenter, the whole main thrust of it came through our yard. Two of our staff were actually in the office trailer, and everything around them got damaged, but the trailer remained untouched.
Oh, okay, I just got goosebumps. Thank goodness they were okay.
It was remarkable.
Wow.
I mean, glass blown out, roofs torn off, and somebody who was specialized in this, when they came out, they said, had that tornado touched that portable, it would have killed them.
Right, like cars were flipped over all in that area.
Apartment buildings ripped off.
Right.
But yet it didn't touch them, and so we believe someone bigger was watching out for us.
Yeah.
But it's the little railway that could.
Oh, I love that.
A team of volunteers that started it. Now there's some paid staff that help facilitate it. Still run over 60 members that run it, day-to-day operations, from the conductor to the trainmen. COVID couldn't stop them. A tornado can't stop them. And now tonight is their opening night. Murder Mystery Dinner sold out. But what we're most excited for is our Christmas trains.
Oh, right. So they're back.
They're back this year, and we're so excited. We're having a whole light-up Christmas train this year with light-up displays, tap dancers and singers, and Santa is coming again. And then this fall in October, we're having our first ever Pumpkin Patch Fall Festival. So you and your family can come on the train, board it, go and get a pumpkin, and enjoy all the things that you do at a typical fall fair or fall festival is going to be all over our grounds. And then we're in the middle of constructing kind of like a Toronto Distillery District Christmas outdoor market for December. So big plans as we revamp to come back. But if it wasn't for people watching, you guys supported us when the tornado came. If it wasn't for people like you and those watching who donating to the railway, volunteering, we're still looking for volunteers and people to partner with us. Registered charity, we've been doing this a long time. But if it wasn't for people at home watching, we wouldn't have survived it.
Wow.
And it was really a
community.
It's
coming
the community.
Together.
And the township was amazing. Mayor Barton, the whole team really rallied together. And so we're indebted to the people of Uxbridge and Durham for supporting the railway. But the best way to support us right now is to go on our website and buy tickets.
Yay! Okay, so you can buy tickets
for
the fall and
for the Pumpkin
Christmas?
Festival and for our Santa trains and for our breakfast with Santa. And then we also have, for some people that may not have young kids or grandkids, we do Victorian high teas at Christmas time.
Oh, love it.
With a 25-foot Christmas tree that we light up, and it's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. But when you think of all that's come against us in the last 2.5 years, and how many times we had nail biters. We were, are we going to make it? The
Yeah.
board meetings of saying, what do we do? Staff that said, no, don't pay us, we'll volunteer.
Wow.
Remarkable.
So now people can come and celebrate.
Yes.
And that the little train that could
Yeah.
made it is still going strong. Oh, I'm losing my earpiece.
It's so important. They say in a train, rails keep us together. The rails hold the train.
Yeah.
Well, with us at York Durham Heritage Railway, it's the people that keep us going.
Beautiful.
And we couldn't do it without them. And so we're looking forward to celebrating this year. We've got through the tough stuff. We've got through the hard seasons. And we're looking forward to celebrating and being back on track.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No
Oh,
pun intended.
Pun intended. Okay, so all the from the damage that happened, is everything all back together? What did you have to rebuild?
No, we've had to, a lot. Our whole facilities, our grounds, our concession stands and our gift shops and our tents. And, when the railway was going through the pandemic, we owed money to people. Because we were going into seasons. And so now we're in the final place that as we're coming back on our feet, that some of our local vendors that we were struggling to make payments to are now going to be paid off, and we're going to be debt free. And so,
what a relief.
But the local vendors that stuck with us and said, don't worry, John, everything's going to be okay. We're here with you.
Yeah.
For us all to rally together, because they knew one day this little train that everybody tried to stop is back on track. And so we couldn't be more excited. We have more volunteers calling us every day saying, we want to come and help the train that could. we want to come and volunteer. We want to do the gardening or the mechanical work or work the gift shop. And we're looking for more, because it takes 200 to 300 people to run a big festival.
Wow.
And this is restoring Canadian heritage equipment, making sure that this history stays in motion, and bringing people on train rides, but not just for the sake of being on a train, but that there's actually a story behind it, a theme. And so this Sunday is our Princess Tea parties. Tonight is our Murder Mystery Party. We have high teas throughout the month. Fall colors, we can come and see the fall colors. Gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And you guys have supported us all the way through.
Thank you. Since the tornado, I've been seeing the T-shirts and the signs, Uxbridge Strong.
Yeah.
And throughout COVID and the tornado, and we've really seen that. Everyone banding together.
Yeah, the people of Uxbridge are amazing.
Yes, they are.
They are.
Okay, we need to go. We'll make sure the website is at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much, John. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So thank you so much for watching the show. And just as a heads up, you might have noticed I was wearing a different outfit during the York Durham Heritage Railway update. So we had pre-recorded that interview. And all the best to Scott Bremner and his book signing. I hope you'll be able to make it out to that. And if you have an opportunity to educate people about the multiple myeloma, and you can make that donation to assist with better treatments. And so again, that website is myelomamarch.ca. Now, if you're wanting to be on the show, you can send us an email, Uxbridge Scugog Life at RCI. Oh, no, hold on. Let me try that again. Uxbridge Scugog Life at rci.rogers.com. I was saying it right. Second guessing myself. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the show. We'll be back next week with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.